What's up to my to the Moors Union of Sovereign Tribes? This is to my group. This is King L. Bay. I know some of y'all are discouraged, but we finna start moving. But I want to teach you something as it relates to this, as it relates to a letter of rogatory, as it relates to this, the rules of evidence, as I present this information to y'all and show y'all why why King El Bay is your friend, not your enemy, and why y'all need to work with King El Bay as it relates to this information. So let's get into this information as it relates to what a letter of rogatory is, and we're going to break it all the way down as I break this information in. Let's go out of here. Okay, now I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Let me get this a little bigger for y'all. So, we're going to look at a ratio testinum. This is why ain't nobody telling y'all about the will as it relates to a letter of rogatory. You got to have the will. And why it's so important to have this will. And I'm gonna tie all of this up. I'm gonna show you why I litigate, how I know this information as it relates to me litigating and understanding how to utilize this information as it relates to this information and these facts. So let's get into it. A ratio testinum, the production of a witness who can testify to the making of a nunc cupative will. So you understand non-pro-tunc as it relates to non-cupative will. The witness must confirm that the testator declared or expressed that the words spoken were a will. See nunc-cupative will under will. Now let's go to the letter of rogatory as it relates to a letter of request. And I want you to understand how all of this stuff ties in together. I want you to see this. And I want you to understand, I'm going to show you everything as it relates to the statutes and how to put this stuff together. A letter of request, a document issued by one court to a foreign court. Now remember, we have to, on what we're doing, I'm giving you a court order, right? Everything is already decided. We're going to the probate court for this reason. Requesting that a foreign court take evidence from a specific person within the foreign jurisdiction or serve process, right? To take evidence from a specific person within the foreign jurisdiction or serve process on an individual or corporation within the foreign jurisdiction, return the testimony or proof of service for use in a pending case. Also termed letter of rogatory letter, rogatory letter, and this is also called requisitory letter. So we talk about a requisite. You got to tell these people how to deal with you, if they got jurisdiction or not. An instrument by which an inferior court withdraws or waives jurisdiction so the matter can be heard in the court immediately above. Letters of request. I want you to see this. Letter of the law. The letter of the law, the strictly, literally meaning of law rather than intentions or policies behind it. Listen to what this says, right? Spirit of the law. The letter of law, the strictly, literally meaning of the law rather than the intentions or policies behind it. You got to understand this. This is why you got to have everything in writing. This is why we doing everything we doing with these letters. Why we doing everything we doing with the will. Why you think the will is so important. Why you think we expressing everything and making claims. Why? So these people can understand the law and what they're dealing with and who they're dealing with. Let's move forward. Break this down for y'all. Now, before I go here, I want to show you here. I'm going to take you here. And this is why the notary presentment is so, everything you got to do is in the form of a notary presentment. And I'm going to break everything down to you. This is Ohio Rules of Evidence, right? I'm going to show y'all this, Rule 44.1. This is Ohio rules. The federal rules align with the Ohio rules. They line up very good. Now, we talking about a proof of official records. Let me break this down. As it relates to proof of official records. Now, they going to show you how all this stuff, this proof of a form records, and all of this stuff can be, so you can verify your jurisdiction. I just showed you the letter of rogatory as it relates to this. Foreign jurisdiction, you putting them on notice. That's the first thing that has to come in. And you have to understand foreign. A foreign official record or entry therein, when admissible for any purpose, may be evidenced by an official publication thereof. Official publication. You got to understand what this means. An official publication. A copy thereof, attestation by a person authorized to make the attestation, and accompanied by a final certificate. So when you get this court order, a court order is also considered, right, an official publication. It's considered an official publication, family. Also, newspaper articles or official publications. Okay, and then it says a copy thereof attested by a person authorized to make the attestation. Now, how do you understand? Let's go here. Y'all all got a document in your trust that says an acceptance of appointment. When offering an appointment, it's always good to have an idea to accept the offer by sending your offer acceptance in writing. Dear, I want to thank you for the privilege of joining your team. You have been most professional in helping us through. So, when there is an offer, that's why they always talking about accepted for value. Once you get your acceptance, and I can show y'all the document as we get there, right? But I want y'all to understand, once you accept the appointment as trustee or covenantor, right? You sign off on it. That's evidence. Okay? You would now have the legal authority. This was all this power of attorney. You don't necessarily need a power of attorney. You don't need one. You don't need a power of attorney once you do this. You don't have to do all that. Wherever the property is has been assigned to you, and you have a delegation of authority over the property. Do y'all get this? Let me continue. Let King LB continue. So we hear. And then it says other proofs. This rule does not prevent the proof of official records or entries or lack of thereof entries by any other method authorized by law. So I'm just showing you, right? Proof of official records. Let's go here. Judicial notice of certain law, determination of certain law. A1. Judicial notice shall be taken of the rules of Supreme Court of this state and of the decisionals and constitutionals and public statutory law. Now, I want you to understand the decisionals as it relates to this. We're talking about trustees, judges, all these people that can make decisions, agencies that have the power, anybody that have the right or jurisdiction over the property can make a decision.
Where are you? They all in here?
We in her room.
Doing what?
Sleep. I'm doing this video. This record.
What you mean? Oh.
Now, it says a party who intends to rely on a decisional, constitutional, statutory law, a rule of court, municipal ordinance, administrative regulations of any other state, territory, or jurisdiction of the United States shall give notice in his pleadings or other reasonable notice. Do you see this? So let me show you what a decisional is as it relates to this information. Let me show y'all why you want to be. This is why King L. Bay is your friend. I know sometimes I'm taking a little long, but I'm going to show you why. There's a difference between me and them. Decisions. A judicial or agency determination after consideration of the facts in the law, especially a ruling order or judgment pronounced by a court when considering or disposing of a case. Judgments and opinions. So this is what you got to understand. Judges, a lot of times they just give their opinions, and because the case has already been decided by the person who has authority over the property. When they're dealing with appeal and review, they give their opinion, right? It's just an opinion. They just tell them, like, okay, this is how we looking at it. You can do what the state can do what they want to do because they sovereign in their own capacity, but this is, we gonna give our opinion. And we gonna try to get an order, or we gonna give you an order or whatever based upon anything. Most of the stuff, you gotta look at this stuff. The judges make opinions all the time. You thinking it's an order. They have this. They can follow the opinion, or they don't necessarily have to sometimes. This is why you got to understand writs and all of that as it relates to you in your own right. Let's finish this up, right? Now I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna start here. The court, in taking judicial notice of a decisional, constitutional, public statutory law, rule of a municipal, all right, we're gonna go, and judicial jurisdiction of the United States may inform itself in such matter as it deems proper, and may call upon counsel to aid in obtaining such information. The court's determination shall be treated as a ruling of question of law and shall be made by the court and not the jury. I want you to understand that. Determination of foreign law. A party who intends to rely on the law of a foreign country shall give notice in his pleadings or other reasonable written notice. The court, in determining the law of a foreign country, may consider any relevant material or source, including testimony, whether or not submitted by a party. The court's determination shall be treated as a ruling on a question of law and shall be made by the court and not the jury. So, what is the foreign country? The foreign country is the Americas. It's foreign to the U.S. corporation. until you make them recognize you not only as a Moor, but as an inhabitant of the Americas. Until you do that, this is why they keep doing what they do to you. Until you make them understand that you are not a U.S. citizen and that you are an Aboriginal and that you are an inhabitant, that you are a native, and that you, right, is a Moor, because Moors can come from any jurisdiction. This is what y'all need to understand. You can be a Moor and come from anywhere. Just because you a Moor doesn't give you jurisdiction over this landmass. Moors were all over the world. And they domiciled all over the world. Let me say this. They created habitats all over the world. They're an inhabitant. Let me break this down for y'all. Moors were all over the world. So you want to specify that you are part of this landmass. Until you do that, until you get the court order, until you do everything like that, they're not going to treat you the same. Do you understand this? I'm not going to make this video super long. So why, now we got to go into why everything has to be done in a notary presentment. Now let's go to notary powers. We're going to look at this. Here go notary publics and commissionaries. So y'all say, I'm a Moor. What do that mean? Are you a Moor from England, Spain, Europe, Philippines, Asia? What kind of Moor are you? Where are you from? Moors come from all over the region of the planet. So this is why you got to be specific to the jurisdiction. This is why they want you to know your history and your language so that you can specify what jurisdiction that you're from. Let me break this down. Why do you do everything in a notary presentment? And let me explain to you why. Notary powers. Okay? A notary public may throughout the state administer oath required or authorized by law, take and certify depositions, and take and certify acknowledgments of deeds, mortgages, liens, powers of attorney, and other instruments of writing. In taking deposition, a notary public shall have the power that is by law vested in judges of county courts to compel attendance of witnesses. I want you to see that once again. Of county courts. Of witnesses and punish them for refusing to testify. I want y'all to understand that's very powerful. Sheriffs and constables are required to serve and return all processes issued by notaries publics in taking of depositions. Do this say that this have to be in a court? You are holding court when you do everything by yourself and you doing an administrative process. That's what they call it. You are holding damn court. That is holding court. Let's go to holding court. Holding court. Third part person singular simply presents, holds court, present um participles holding court, simply past and past participle part part tis, participles held court of kings or other high-ranking aristocrats. I want y'all to understand this, right? To preside in a formal manner over an official assembly of courtiers and others in which entertainment is presented or affairs of the state as considered. What are you talking about? We talking about property, estate planning. Property has to be assigned to a jurisdiction. Do you understand what I'm saying? I broke all this stuff down to y'all before. Property has to be assigned to a jurisdiction. Ain't nobody broke this down like this, period. Period. They tell you how to communicate with them. And this is why they calling you belligerent. Belligerent. Hostile or aggressive. Threatening. A belligerent is an individual, group, or country or other entities that act in a hostile manner, such as engaging in combat. The terms come from the Latin bellinum genere. Unlike the use of the belligerent as adjective meaning aggressive, is used as a noun does not necessarily imply that a belligerent country is an aggressor. So, I want y'all to understand the context in which all these words are being used. You have to understand if it's being used in a first, second, or third, fourth, fifth sense as it relates to expression. So you got to express everything to everyone as it relates to this. You got to educate people on who you are. That's why they got what's that they teach you how to speak language, that course, Rosetta Stone. So you got to teach these people in a form almost like in Rosetta Stone. Alright? This is why I say I got to do certain things in a certain capacity. Are we getting there, family? So let's talk about the notary presentment. So the notary presentment and a notary testation is two different things. Let's go to a notary testation. You got to understand a notary testation. Notary testation. So, they're two different things, and I don't want you to get confused about this, right? So, with a notary attestation, the notary can personally know you. They can personally identify you. Your documents can be authenticated. Once a notary attests to the fact that you say who you are. So a notary presentment, the notary can present the information, and then the notary can attest, okay, to whatever it is, to your identity and other stuff. This is why I do everything the way I do it. It's a powerful component. This is why I drop this on y'all the way I do, because nobody else can break it down, explain it to you, because they are not litigators. This is why my stuff is going to have merit. This is why everything we do is going to have merit. This is why I drop the ball and it's going to have merit when we do what we do, family. So, I'm telling you this for a reason, so you can watch this video. I'm not trying to make it long. So, this is the end of the video. I'm getting ready to start doing these series. I'm going to pay for some websites, get some stuff together, and we going to get busy. Peace and love.